Today, Baba is talking about sensibility. And Baba says that you had become senseless and I make you sensible. Now, what is sensibility? So, let's say you find a person who is trying to water the plants, but what he does is he's just watering the leaves and branches and not the roots. Okay, so that person is just showering water on every single leaf, every single branch, but make sure that it doesn't reach the roots. Then, would you label that person as insensible or sensible? So, you see, but if you had the opportunity to talk to them, then you would figure out that they are doing that because they don't know that the seed or the root of the plant is the most important and that the roots need to be nourished. And they don't know that it is actually the roots that are sustaining every leaf, every branch. So, similarly, this was our condition. We were very senseless. We were taking care of the body, of the relationships, or at least trying to, or what we have and what we do, but we were absolutely ignoring or being oblivious to the existence or absolutely not paying attention to the nurturing of the soul, who is the seed of our existence. And Baba says that when I come to you, I make you soul conscious, and that shifts the whole paradigm. So, what is soul consciousness? So, if you ask me in one sentence, I feel soul consciousness is the stage where you sit in the experience that everything is not outside in, it is inside out. So, when you become conscious that you are on the inside and it is your state of being which is affecting everything outside and not vice versa, that is the stage of soul consciousness. Vis a vis body consciousness, where you feel that everything is outside in and it is people, situations, and attainments and everything on the outside that is affecting what is on the inside. So, this is soul consciousness. And the moment you understand this, your attitude is turned upside down, because uh, earlier you were living your life in a different way. You thought that, I have to keep running after people, places, and things and make sure that they behave the way I think they should, and only then I will be peaceful or happy. But now you start understanding that no, my state of being is influencing everything. And then how do I elevate my state of being? Very simply by remembering Baba and understanding knowledge and acting knowledgefully and taking power from Baba. So, as soon as I start making those choices, then my everything starts to shift outside. But the shift outside is very slow. What starts happening is first your experience of life starts shifting, and then everything on the outside is influenced by that experience of life. So this is the shift between the shift from in non senseless to sensible. And then Baba also today points out very clearly that purity and sensibility are related. Because you see, even if you understand things intellectually, the power to make good choices comes from your state of purity. So, if your sanskars are not pure, if your sanskars are not divine, then even if you intellectually understand, your mind and intellect will always be pulled by the senseless dictates that it has been conditioned into for so long. So that is why Baba says that there is a very strong connection between sensibility and purity. And have you seen that when we come to Baba, we become very sensible in very few days. I remember there was this one Kanya, and she was all of, I think, 24, 25 years of age. And she was a very good student. And she used to have this memory where she could remember the whole class and exactly, relate it, narrate it word by word. And it was very amazing. And then, when she could grasp that, then she thought that now she has understood Gyan, and she always, with her friends and everybody, she started sharing also. But then her experience of life didn't change much. So she was miserable and she continued to be miserable because she didn't make any choices according to Baba's directions. She didn't choose to put in the effort for remembering Baba. She didn't choose to purify her senses. So she kept engaging in whatever she was engaging in, alcohol or drugs or whatever. And then she also kept, um, doing all the wasteful karma that she did and didn't get up in the morning. And then the experience of life was pretty much the same. And then one day she told me, I know, I now I understand everything, but I'm still the same. So I said, but understanding means doing, and you're not doing anything. So she said, but I don't, I'm not able to. So I said, you have to take one step at a time. Nobody's asking you to do the whole thing all at once, but if you don't even take one step at a time, then how is Baba going to help you? So Baba always says that my hand is my Shrimat. So by giving you directions, I'm extending my hand to you. And by following my directions, you're taking my hand. And when you do that, then I can take you across. But if I'm giving you my hand and you are not holding it, you are not following my directions, then how can I take you across? So there is an absolute connection between purity and sensibility. So you may understand a lot, but until you make the effort to purify yourself, your old sanskars will dominate your intellect. So, do you remember when we were doing the course, there was this picture of the mind, intellect, and sanskar. And then we understood that the sanskars are driving the mind, and the mind is, the source of actions, and then they are reinforcing the sanskars, and it is a loop. And then there is an intellect which is sleeping, and then Baba empowers the intellect. Now, when the intellect is active, then it overpowers the mind, and then you do different actions, and the sanskars change. But how do you arrive at that intellect which overpowers or overrides your old sanskars? That happens when the intellect is full of knowledge and power. That happens when you fill yourself with power. And how do you how do you gain the power of purity? So one is by following Baba's directions about seeing, hearing, eating, not engaging in sensual pleasures. So that is one way. And the most important thing is remembering the ocean of purity. So only when you remember Baba, you draw into yourself the light of purity. And Baba says that then you become sensible. So when you remember me and you choose pure actions, then you would be called sensible. And then whatever you do is not an act of self sabotage, because mostly from the copper age, whatever we are doing, whether it is in terms of thoughts, words, or acts, it is pretty much an act of self sabotage where you are taking an axe and putting it on your own feet, striking at your feet and hurting yourself. Because every act that we are doing in body consciousness is not helping me, it is only making me more miserable. And Baba says, nobody who is sensible will make choices which are an act of self sabotage. So, sensibility means you would do what's good for you. But just ask yourself, are you thinking in a way that is making you happy or miserable? Yes. And who is making that choice? You are yourself making that choice or not? Yes. Why do you choose to think in a pattern which takes away your happiness? Why don't you choose a trail of thoughts that restores your happiness? Because we are body conscious and we are more concerned about right, wrong, just, unjust, fair, unfair, true, untrue than peace and happiness. So we are more concerned about who is right than what is right. So this is why, this is body consciousness. And I remember I was having this conversation yesterday with one Mata, and she was telling me uh, that in a situation where decisions have to be taken, then people are taking decisions based on who is most powerful and what they have got to say, rather than who is most sensible and what they have got to say. So, and she said those decisions are hampering the whole system, but then the one who is powerful is not necessarily the one who is sensible. So then he is being listened to, and then all the decisions are being taken in a way that things are taking a toll. So I said, but this, welcome to the world of body consciousness. This is how they operate. So you can't do anything about it. So just think about yourself. What choices are you making about thoughts, feelings, actions? Are you choosing to waste your time overthinking and wasteful thinking and nostalgia and stuff? Many people think nostalgia is a very good thing, but nostalgia is not a good idea. So, you are going down memory lane and trying to just relive those incidents which happened in the past and which don't exist right now, and that creates an illusion or a desire that those incidents should repeat, but that is also a form of hallucination. So because that was then and this is now. But and the more you go down memory lanes and dig those corpses, they are going to scare you even more. So Baba says that We must understand what are body consciousness and acts of sensibility, acts of senselessness. They have a very strong connection, and they are many. The thoughts, words, acts. You can make a whole list, and we were all doing that. Now Baba says, remember me, draw power into yourself, and use knowledge, and think knowledgefully, act knowledgefully, speak knowledgefully. And that is being sensible. And that is sowing the seeds of good karma. And then I'm also very interested in another topic, which is sensitivity versus sensibility. So Baba in many Murlis has told us that you be sensible, not sensitive. Now, so if you look up the dictionary meaning, it makes you think a lot, because you see, when you look at the dictionary meaning of what being sensible means, being sensible doesn't mean all head and no heart. Because mostly, when we on the face of it, when we look at these two words, sensitive versus sensible, you feel that sensitive means all heart and no head, and sensible means all head and no heart. But it's not like that. In order to be sensible, you have to have clear feelings and clear perception. You are not devoid of feelings and devoid of devoid of any feelings, basically, if you are sensible. So being sensible doesn't mean all head. Being sensible means having feelings that are knowledgeful, having perception that is knowledgeful, and choosing actions that are knowledgeful. Knowledge doesn't make you feeling less. Yes, knowledge makes you have feelings that are knowledgeful. And what are knowledgeful feelings? So, being peaceful, being in supersensuous joy, being content, these are also feelings. You are not becoming dry. And when you are in those feelings, and when you have clarity of intellect, and your perception of what is what, and who is who, and who am I, and what is my goal, and who do I belong to is very clear, then also you act and make choices, and that is called sensible. And what is sensitivity? When you're just being emotional without being knowledgeful. So, many people think that because you are knowledgeful, you are dry. No, we are not dry. Our feelings are accurate. So, we can feel. See, you look at BKs, we are the ones who can feel Baba, who we can't even see. So, we are very in touch of our feelings. If we were dry and unfeeling, we can't feel Baba's love. We can't feel Baba's presence. So we are very much in touch with our feelings, but our feelings are not coming from unregulated sanskars. They are coming from a place of knowing who I am, and that place where my feelings of peace, purity are emerged. So you see, once I remember there was this friend of mine, and she said, when people go into spirituality, they become very callous, so they become very indifferent. So I said, no, if spirituality makes you indifferent, then it's not spirituality. And spirituality makes you very sensible. So you are not open to manipulation or reaction, but you are very much in touch of your feelings, and you can feel anybody's pain. You don't absorb it, but you can feel that they are in pain, and you do the best you can for them. And when you're sensitive, you absorb that pain, and that is no use. So if somebody is in pain and you are sensible, how do you respond to that? You understand they are in pain and you do the needful to assuage that pain, not amplify that pain. But what happens when you are sensitive, you take that pain, you make it your own, and then there is not one person in pain, there are two people in pain now. So, sensible people are not insensitive. They are not sensitive, they are not insensitive, they are sensible. So they can perceive everything. So you see, many people think that if you are sensible you don't perceive things. No, you can perceive the gross, the subtle. You are very aware, but then you know where to respond, where to not respond. And when you're sensitive, you are responding and reacting to everything which doesn't need your response at all. So that is the difference between being sensitive and being sensible. And you can only shift from sensitive to sensible when you're knowledgeful. So knowledgeful people are not compassionate, not kind, or not loving. They are very loving, very compassionate, very kind, but they know when, how much. So, and when to withdraw, or when to be a detached observer, or when to participate. They know this. So that is what Baba gives us, sensibility, and it's a very big thing. And this world is, so I remember there was this one. I always share this incident because I was very rattled by it. And there was this one parents, they used to come to the center, and they told me that my son is taking drugs, and he's huge, big time into drugs. So I told them, okay, Baba will help you. You also do the course, and then, things will work out. And then one day they called me all of a sudden and they said, my son had an accident and his leg is all broken, and he's on the bed for a good 6 months, if not more. And then I said, that's very good. So he said, why are you saying that's good? So I said, where will he now go and find drugs? He will sit there and deal with his withdrawals, and then he can't do anything about it now. So this will be the time then where he will have to deal with every sensation of withdrawal, and then he will come back to being fine, and you take care of them. He's at home and there is no need to worry, and he's not he there is nothing he's losing, because already there's vacation. And so you see, it's a win-win. So then the parents said, okay, we didn't think like that, but yes, maybe that's a blessing. And then for several days, so maybe, for 2 months around, the lady, she kept updating me about the son's health. And then suddenly she stopped. She didn't update me about his health. And then I grew a little concerned, and then I asked her, so why are you not telling me anything about your son now? Is he fine? Is he doing well? And then they looked at each other and they kept quiet. So then I asked them, did you give him drugs? So they said yes. So they said he was in a lot of pain and he was writhing in pain, and we could not see it, we could not handle it. So I said, you could give him poison, he would have been silent forever. So why did you give him drugs? So if you can't see somebody in pain and you do something which worsens that pain, then you're being very insensible. But people are going with this idea that when somebody is pain, give them what they want. No, give them what they need, because they are in pain because of what they want, because they have conditioned themselves into these, what do you say, wrong wants. And that's why they are in pain. So helping somebody build strength, helping somebody build character, helping somebody set boundaries is sensibility. And just, giving them what they want, and giving them what they think they are suffering for, and then just making them go downhill is people think it's sensitive, but it's not. It's very insensible. And I will tell you one thing which I have learned from many patients who are going to have surgery and stuff, that was very shocking for me. And I don't know, there is no way to ascertain whether it was true or not, but I've heard this from at least 5 people, and I will share it with you. That when they are in acute disease, state of disease, and they are in the hospital, and then they are addicts, maybe alcohol addicts or some addict, then the doctors have helped them have alcohol because the doctor is an alcoholic. And the doctor said that, I can understand how much pain you are in, and I would not like you to be in that pain. And then, okay, anyways, we are going to have an operation, so you can have alcohol. And I'm telling this to you, which has been corroborated by at least 5 people in this journey. So just think about how much senselessness is there. Just making somebody feel comfortable, you think that's the ultimate goal? No. Because you cannot save anybody from their own karma. If you can't help them better their karma, then you're not helping them at all. And you are just, becoming party to their karmic journey, and you will also have to pay for it. So there's a big difference between being sensible and sensitive, and we are very in touch with our feelings, but we are not sensitive. We are very sensible, and Brahmins have to be like that. So this is one thing. Then second thing Baba today says is, Baba talks about dharm yudh, and I don't know whether how to translate that, but it has been translated in the English Murli as war of religion. And Baba says, in that war of religion, how will you win? Because you see, ultimately, everybody will come to a place where they agree that this is Baba, this is God, this is God's teaching, and that is when Baba will be revealed. So that is, I think, the meaning of winning the war of religion or winning Dharam Yudh. Now Baba says, how will you win this Dharam Yudh? So of course, Dharam Yudh is not about fighting with weapons, which many people have thought it is. And many people, you see, every religion is also engaging in training for warfare, and there is some kind of training being given, because people think that there will be a time when there will be dharam yudh, and then you will have to win that war by fighting hard. But Baba says, no, you don't win dharam yudh by being aggressive and fighting with swords and daggers, and that's not the way. So, how do you win Dharam Yudh? Baba says, by being an embodiment of, by being an example through your practical life. That is how you will win Dharam Yudh. And I remember a very small incident. There was this one Mata, and once she was doing seva in the temple, and then there were some religious fanatics, and then they just they kind of what do you say, they kind of the like what do you say, gherao, I don't know what do you say it in English. So they ambushed her, right? And then they started having arguments with her that you people are saying all wrong things, and this was God and that was God, and God is not just a point of light. God is this, that, this person, and that person. And then this mother, she very quietly she said, "Okay, I will agree with everything. Just tell me one thing. What time do you wake up every day?" So they said 6, 7, and then she said, "I wake up at 3:30." And then what is it that you do all day? So they are on WhatsApp and Instagram all day, and then I'm doing Seva all day. And I am happy and I'm not getting angry when you are speaking like this to me. And I'm talking to you sensibly. Have I raised my voice? I didn't raise my voice. Why did you need to raise your voice? And then, they all fell silent. And she said, "You see, you are practicing any religion because you think that it should change you. It should make you a better person. And if you're not becoming a better person, then I'm sorry, I will not accept that your religion is doing any good to you." So she said, "I'm not debating about who is God, what is God. Just see what God has made me. Do you want to become this?" So they said, "Yes." So then you have to say, then you have to accept that this is God and what He says is working. So, our practical life where we are not running away from anything, we are in the midst of everything. And you see, most people, they say that when you're in the midst of everything, then you should be excused for everything that you're doing wrong, or you run away from everything. But Baba says, no, we are becoming those people who are equally loving and detached. So we are in the midst of everything, taking care, loving everyone, and being a support, giving our cooperation, and then we are detached also. So we are affecting everything around us without getting affected. And this balance of detached and loving, when this balance is a part of your practical life in everything, then you are an example through which you will win that war of religion. And ultimately, people say pratyaksh ko praman ki kya avashyakta. So the practical proof doesn't need any proof. So whatever anybody can see, they cannot see. You can deny what you hear, you can disagree with what somebody's ideas, but you cannot deny what you see. If you see a deity in making, then you have to accept that this is the process to change from a human to a deity. And I will tell you one thing which always struck me. So I came from a family where no two women got along with each other. So, and I had seen this. And I don't know, when I came to Gyan, I had this idea that women are not supporting women enough. And I was pretty disappointed with this. And then when I came to Baba, I saw women working together and creating something that's so worthy. And I took to Gyan instantly because of that. This is my deep inner thing that guided me, and I was very very astounded and very inspired and very what do you say, impressed by this fact that women are working together and they are creating something that's so beautiful. And this is the practical proof. So people say that women can't be like this, or men, and you see men also, there is a perceived perception of men that men are very aggressive or this or that. But you see brothers in the Baba's family, and they are the sweetest. So they are all so sweet and so kind and so compassionate. And these are the things that make you and understand that practically what you are thinking about an ideal world where there is a balance between male and female energies, and everybody is working in harmony. When you see these things happening, you feel that yes, this is true and Baba is the truth. So, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do. Anji. Okay.
Om Shanti
Om
Didi.
Shanti.
So, always I think that's exactly what we feel, that today my day went very well because something outside happened well and somebody, like you rightly said, behaved well. But that's absolutely the wrong way of living your life. It has to be lived inside out, where
Yes.
technically inside you're feeling so happy and so peaceful and loveful that automatically everything out will, yes, change, because and the whole point is feeling the right way inside.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Good morning, Shilpa Didi.
Good
Om
morning,
Shanti.
Bhai. Good morning,
I
Bhai.
learned today about sensibility
Yes.
and soul conscious. That is inside out is very, very important.
Yes.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you. Okay, so there's an announcement. Tomorrow we will have just one class in the morning, and that class will be the Hindi class. So tomorrow there'll be no English class. You join in the Hindi class, and in that Hindi class we will have the class and then the Diwali program for BKs. And today in the evening, we will have Diwali Milan, in which we will have some cultural events and then a class that is, pertaining to everybody who is new as well as old. So you can, that password you can share with new people also, and anybody's seva you want to do, you do that. And that is at 5 in the evening. So everybody join in time. Om Shanti.